I am Daisy Deadhead from daisydeadhead.com. You know, we were going to talk about Phil Robertson, the guy that looks like ZZ Top from the Duck Dynasty. And we wanted to talk about some of the things that he said. But more importantly, I was thinking today, Daisy Deadhead, you're thinking, what kind of a name is that? Well, it's not my legal name. Neither is Gorgeous Greg, my other Carolina Consigliere co-host. Say hi.
Hi.
Now, does that sound like a real person's name? No, and neither is Double A. You want to know why we have those names? Because we don't want to get fired for our opinions. You know what I mean? So that's why we use these fake names. This is South Carolina, and I believe it's called a right-to-work state, but then Double A calls it a...
Right to work for less money state.
Yes. What that means is that we can be fired at any time. This is what Paul Ryan, the Ayn Randians, the Tea Party, the Republicans, the anti-workers' rights people, all of you, I'm talking to you right now, right-wingers, conservatives, Republicans who think it's good and right and true that any employer anywhere should be able to fire their employee for any reason. That is the law here in South Carolina. That is the law here, which is why we use the names we use, because we also don't want our spouses or our kids to get fired because we shoot our mouths off. But that could happen. We know because we know people it's happened to. It may have even happened to us three. See, that's what happens. That is what happens. It's happened to me. Whenever there's no worker protections and no unions, bosses can do anything they want to. And you Republicans who are anti-union and anti-workers' rights, you are the reason that this dude, Phil Robertson, the loudmouth, that's why he got fired, because you made it happen. Yes, not us. The gay people didn't fire him. A&E fired him. A&E, his employer, fired him because they didn't like what he said. Now, didn't you think? Didn't Paul Ryan say? Ted Cruz has just jumped on the bandwagon. Glenn Beck's just jumped on the bandwagon. Sarah Palin. All these people are coming to his defense. But they said that they didn't even like the Civil Rights Act. They don't like the Americans with Disabilities Act. They don't like anything like that might step on an employer's right to do whatever they want to do. They say the employers are making the jobs. We can't put any restrictions on the employers ever, ever, ever. Well, okay then. What are you bitching about? What are you complaining about? Isn't that what you wanted? You've got it what you wanted. They did exactly that. They said, we don't like what you say. Snap. Right in your face. And they just fired him. And now you're all over Twitter, and you're all over Facebook, and you're all over Tumblr, and you're all over the Internet complaining. Stand with Phil. Phil Robertson, he lost his job because he spoke about the gays. Well, didn't you want it to be that way, that an employer could at whim, at will, fire him? Then why did you take that position? Do you understand that it could hurt you, that we were working for your rights as well as ours? We weren't working just for us. You know, we were working for everyone to have the right to speak up without getting fired. That's what unions do, is make that safe for you to do. Isn't that great? Maybe if Phil, had not been such a loudmouth and such an idiot, he would have known that. But that's what you guys have made happen. Now, are you happy with it? Why are you suddenly complaining? Oh, wait, it's one of yours this time. But we told you that. Were you not listening? We told you. We told you. Yes, you Republican, you GOP. We told you that this would happen. Oh, not us, because we're the majority. Well, maybe you're not the majority anymore. Has that occurred to you? See, that's what happens. Someday you're going to be even less the majority, less the minority. You are a minority now. The majority of people in this country think gay marriage is a swell idea. Did you know that? That's why it's the law in, 15, 16 states? I don't know how many states, but a lot.
16.
Thank you. And you guys, as you die off, will be the minority. And you are going to be persecuted for that, just as other minorities were persecuted. How do you like it? This is what you work to make happen with your bills, with your politics, with your right-to-work laws, with your nastiness, with your anti-union regulations. Sarah Palin and this whole crowd. Bobby Jindal, are you out of your mind? Bobby Jindal, the Indian American, says you shouldn't even have anything that keeps him from, that even he questions anti-racial stuff, that maybe that's not good for employers. It might not bring employers to Louisiana. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Well, how do all of you like the results of your own actions? I am so tired of you complaining about this. Whether you agree with him or not, this is what we're talking about, is that people won't be allowed to speak their mind. And you made that happen, and now you see the results of it. And I hope you're all very happy that your guy was fired without any recourse, just for shooting his mouth off, maybe drunk. Maybe he didn't even mean it. I don't know. I don't know the man. I never watched that show. I know that he's a preacher. And yes, I know from everybody telling me last night on Twitter, he was just quoting the Bible. I don't think the Bible quotes gays as being similar to bestiality, but hey, I don't know. I never saw it in there, but maybe you guys are making up your own Bible, as I've always assumed you do. But anyway, if he's going to, religion, he fired for his religion. Yeah, exactly. That's not right, is it? So why do you guys uphold laws? Why do you guys uphold politics? Why do you take positions that make it possible to fire somebody for their religion? You brought this on yourselves. Choke on it. You are interfering with commerce. Out. They don't like you at A&E. It's not suitable for them. Out. You have no recourse, and that is what all of you work to make happen. That is what has happened to Phil Robertson. That is what has happened to Duck Dynasty. And you need to understand that you made your bed. Stop complaining about political correctness. What about political correctness? Political correctness couldn't hurt you at all if he had rights, or if we all have rights. I wouldn't have to use the name Daisy Deadhead. I could tell you my real name if there were rights. There aren't. And you made that happen. So now you have to eat it. You have to deal with the consequences of Phil Robertson and Duck Dynasty. You're not get to watch your little duck call show anymore. You're not going to be able to watch your little hunter, kill little innocent ducks and whatever he does out there in the woods. I don't know what the show's about. I think it's ridiculous. But, I understand what you're saying about the First Amendment. Wait, Greg, double A, didn't that happen to Occupy all over the country?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it did.
Ted Cruz, Sarah Palin. Did you hear them saying anything about those people's First Amendment rights?
No.
Right. That is exactly right. But now all Phil Robertson's rights are being upheld by Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin. Now, explain that to me. You wouldn't think it's just because he's anti-gay and he's a preacher and he's a redneck, would you? Because is that it? And I'm allowed to say redneck. I'm a redneck. We're all rednecks on this show, okay? I'm just saying. I didn't hear them saying anything about free speech any other time. Suddenly free speech is their issue? When did this happen? Last week? Last night? This is ridiculous. And if anybody, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. You all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You made this happen. You made this happen. You don't believe in workers' rights? Congratulations and welcome to the world for the rest of us who have been fired for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time because some idiot didn't believe over here, so I'm offended. Political correctness be damned. It doesn't matter. Left, right, center. That's how it happens, people. Boss doesn't like it, you're out. Now, you made this happen. Now, you stop complaining about it because you brought this on yourselves.